Hey guys, welcome to the Service Leaders Spotlight. I'm Clifton Savage, leadership coach at the Service Leaders Society, and I interview service leaders in our community doing great things, making great accomplishments, and giving great insight for the next generation. So I look forward today interviewing Greg Van Alst, the Daytona ARCA winner this past February. He's been in motorsports for a long time. He's been real successful. He was the ARCA CRA 2019 champ, and he's been running up front in the ARCA Menard Series for many years, and finally pulled off his first victory at Daytona. And so, I got a great opportunity to interview him today, get a little bit more insight on his history, his background, as well as his future pursuits, as well as a great opportunity to sponsor him, to help fund the team to go to the next race here at Phoenix coming up this weekend. So check out this interview. There's some great insight for both motorsports and business, as well as some keys to excellence. So I hope you stick around. What's up, Greg?
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. How are you?
Good.
Perfect. So you guys all set for this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. I just got a few things to do, load tonight, and then leave in the morning at 5 a.m.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully you got better weather than they did in California last week.
Yeah, I hope so.
Good deal. Well, thank you so much for doing this real quick. I just kind of wanted to spotlight you and what we're doing here. I know you probably don't know anything about me, but I don't know if you see this picture back here. I've had some time in motorsports myself, but mostly just more of a follower now. So really, cool. Really excited to see what happened for you at Daytona. And then saw your Twitter post, and I was like, yeah, might as well jump on board, see if we can help out a little bit.
Heck yeah, that's very appreciated. Everybody kind of keeps saying, like, I know it's not much, but my philosophy is if we can get multiple sponsorship like this, it adds up. And I think we've got our fuel being paid for by all the small sponsorships like this, which is huge going to a place like Phoenix, right? I mean, yeah. It's a long way out there, and it's going to cost us like $4,000 in fuel. So if I get multiple companies together and we get that paid for, it's money that doesn't have to come out of my personal pocket to make it happen. So, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, no, I think that's huge, and I think that's growing more on the popularity of social media, Twitter, as well as Facebook, but especially Twitter, to see that different avenue of activation with those little smaller sponsors. It adds up, which is cool. I actually think it was the Mullins family. I think it was over the winter time. They put some out there for like one of those Amazon shopping lists, wish list.
Yep.
You got people, we'll put your name on a card if you buy stuff. So I bought a couple tools for them.
Yeah, so we're going to do that. We just between trying to get ready for Phoenix and all the media stuff for winning Daytona, we haven't had a chance to put together a wish list, but on our way to Phoenix, we're going to do that, because I like having a cabinet stocked full of rags and brake clean and oil and filters and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully on our way out to Phoenix, we're going to put something out there about that. So that's because the Mullins, believe it or not, they're competitors, but they're friends, right? And Dinah's like, you really need to do it. Like, you have a good following. Like, it'll happen if you just put it out there, because there's people that can do $20, right? Mm-hmm. So they'll buy you a couple of boxes of rags, and like that's cool stuff. So
yeah, we live in a whole nother age, but in a good way for this aspect, right?
Right.
Kind of like the Twitch and the YouTube streamers, how they make money. There's a little couple dollars here, a couple dollars there. So jump on it, especially now, right? While you got the momentum carrying you along. So cool. Well, let me just ask you a couple of quick questions, because I'm going to take this and just upload it, to put out there to the world on social media. But I just want to kind of just get a quick wrap up of where you're from, and your history both with racing and your business, because obviously I'm a business guy, so I love talking business with other people, especially in motorsports. So are you originally from Indiana?
Yep. So right here in Anderson, pretty much lived here my whole life, except for a year that we lived in Florida. So
What was that year in Florida for?
I went down there to I was basically a fabricator at a race shop. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I went to was it Salem, Indiana? Went to
Hmm.
that racetrack one time. I got a chance to go out with the ARCA team out there. That's a wicked track.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I'm from Virginia. All our stuff's flat tracks. You know, we didn't have anything like that. So that's pretty. I mean, Motor Mile is kind of close, but nothing like Salem.
No, well,
So
Salem, Winchester, those are kind of beasts of their own.
yeah, and then you're the 2019 CRA champion, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
So you got a good bit of experience under your belt before venturing into this ARCA racing and Daytona and stuff like that. What was your history before getting into ARCA specifically?
Yeah, so I've been racing. I think this is our 26th year,
Okay.
and I've raced literally just about everything. I've been in go karts, midgets, sprint cars, um, modifieds, late models. I've never been in a street stock. Uh, Never been in a Legends car, but that's getting ready to change because my boy's got one.
Oh, that's gonna
I'm
be
gonna get
fun.
it at some point. But yeah, I've raced a little bit of everything.
Okay, good deal. So, what do you feel like translated the most to Daytona? So, like Daytona, I've been there just walking around in person many years ago with that same ARCA team I talked about. I had an opportunity to go down and test, but I said, you know what? Let me save my money. Let me try and go into business for myself and make more money down the road to fund racing, right? The smarter
Yeah.
choice, I believe. So, but I've never been at Daytona in a pack like that. I've done some champ kart stuff, so we were drafting, but they ain't nothing compared to going, almost 200 at Daytona. So, like, what helped translate to making that so successful for you?
um, it's the super speedway racing is kind of a thing of its own. I don't know if there's anything that translates to it.
Yeah,
One of the Fox announcers asked me like a year or two ago, how could I compare it to anything? And the only thing I could compare it to was, if you have a hauler, right? Our racing hauler, and it's a little underpowered, and you have to like get in the draft of other semis
yeah,
in order to pass them, and then when you pull out you can feel the power,
yeah.
the lack of power again.
Opposite.
um, it's similar to that but on a whole different scale. So if anybody's ever been out and driving their hauler and they got it on the floor and it just won't go any faster, but then you start drafting semis, like I said, it's similar, but it's totally different feel. There was some rookie drivers that I talked to this year that had never been in Daytona, and I told them, I said, everything you've done in the test, everything you've done in practice,
Yeah.
it's similar, but when the green flag drops, it changes.
Mm,
And it's it's just everything gets tighter. Nobody's trying to give you room.
yeah.
Where in practice in the test, everybody's giving each other room. So I think those two tracks are tracks that drivers that do it multiple times, they only get better every time because you learn.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to learn is to do it. Where the short track stuff, it translates from a late model to an ARCA car. So yeah, that's the only comparison that I can come up with, and it's still totally different.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's just miraculous what some of those guys do when they get around there because it's the first race of the season and there are all those new guys. I mean, even locally, Langley, we had Connor Hall and Brendan McQueen come out there, and go straight from late models to Daytona, like very little in between. And so it's cool to see that. I know you guys came up short a couple of years ago, or maybe it was last year, right? But just we're finally in position this year and just had a great car to pull off a victory.
Yeah, so we've been really good. Every super speedway race that we've been a part of, we just keep having, bad luck or lack of luck or whatever you want to call it. And, like last year at Daytona, we were running third and got hit in the left rear under yellow. At Daytona or at Talladega last year, the race got called early and we got shuffled to 11th, and just couldn't make our way back up, but ran inside the top five. In 2021, we wrecked running third or fourth. The leaders got together and we got collected in it at Daytona, and then at Talladega I was going for the lead, and another driver got into us going through the tri-oval and wrecked us. So we've had some good runs, but just didn't have the finishes to support those good runs. This year was the first year that everything just went kind of as you dream of, essentially.
That's awesome. So what do you feel about your car and your chances going into Phoenix, a track maybe more translated from your past experience?
I mean, we're going to be better than we were last year. We have a pull down rig, so we were able to do some things there. We didn't pull the Phoenix car down last year, so I feel like we're going to be in good shape. But the flip side of it is basically we figured out why we were probably struggling with this car last year, kind of a last minute thing, and it's too late to make those changes. So it's not just a simple thing. I mean, and it's not terrible, right? Like this car got 7th, 8th several times last year. I think we had like 7, 8 places in a row or some silly stuff like that. And this was the car that we were using for that. So, you know, we want to be inside the top 5, and we may have to come back and fix what we figured out. And it's not necessarily something that's wrong. It's just not the way we want it. So, you know, it's going to be a true test when we go out to Phoenix. I think we'll be better, but we know it's not the best that it could be now. But when Jim was up here, my crew chief was up here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we just couldn't get something where we wanted it. And we finally got it. And then of course he leaves, and Monday afternoon we kind of figure out what our issue is, right? You know, it's just you have time to think about it, and you know, it's too complicated to change in, you know, 24, 48 hours. I mean, it's going to require calling to North Carolina and getting some stuff made. And so, but we're learning, right? Like this is probably the reason why this car struggled some at the short tracks last year, but we're definitely better with this car going to Phoenix than we were probably going to any short track with it last year. But, you know, we know that there's something there on the table that may keep us out of maybe the top 3, right? But still confident that we should be inside top 10, hopefully. I'd love to leave Phoenix with the points lead. That would be huge. So we'll just have to see how everything plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's great. The problem kind of revealed itself, right? Rather than trying to chase it around, you know what you got to do, and you've already made some improvements with the pull down, so it should just build upon itself. So you're in a great position right now. Cool. Any other race on the schedule that you're looking at that you're excited about for this year?
We're anxious for Talladega. Yeah, we was just at CB Fabricating a little while ago, and you know, he's on board for every race this year, but he's going to be the primary there. And he's kind of kicking himself for not being the primary at Daytona. But he's like, man, no pressure. You know, you got to put it in victory lane. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to do everything I can to, you know. So, yeah, Talladega, we're definitely looking forward to.
Awesome. Good deal. So last thing, wrap up on the motorsport side, and then I want to transition to business side real quick, and then I'll let you go. What's the status of your sponsors? Are you still looking for something big going into this weekend? Are you going to put something else out there? I know you're going to do the Amazon list, but do you have a primary for the car now?
No. You know, again, like I said, CB Fabricating's on the car for every race.
Yeah.
But we still need primary sponsorship. You know, so this weekend we just have sponsor team35.com on the car. And then, you know, several others like yourself is going on the car. So yeah, I mean, that's the kind of the name of the game right now for us, but we're making it work. And like I said, if I can spend less than I did last year out of pocket, I mean, it just makes it that much better, less stressful. Just all around makes it easier on me.
Right. Yeah. Every little bit helps. So that means people can still donate, throw a couple dollars, whatever they got at you, and that'll still help out. And I love what you've done too, with making it so easy to be able to help you out with team35.com. I love the graphic imaging that you did and everything. That made it super simple, no brainer. I know a lot of people don't do that, so they might pick up something from you.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because there were several people that I talked to that were kind of against it, because they were like, well, you don't want to put out there what you're charging, because what if they'd be willing to give you more? And it's like, I mean, that's kind of business, right? Like if you put out there, I mean, if I'm trying to sell a fence and I try to, make it the highest price in town, I mean, nobody's going to buy it. But if I have options, you're getting people that may not normally do anything, because you're scaring them off with a big number. I mean, we've heard that several times. There's a local trucking company just last night was talking that oh, they wouldn't be, we would, they were saying that we wouldn't be interested in a small amount that they'd be interested in. And, got to talking and I think they're going to come on board at some point, Awesome. So yeah, I mean, it gives options for, like I said, people that wouldn't normally be on a car to be on a car.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great point, and I've run into that recently. I've been in organizational management most of my life, leadership development. I have a coaching business now, and I focus on leadership development with like business owners, upper management. One of the things I found recently was, as I was promoting more and more this new year, a new group coaching program I was putting out, people were kind of resistant at first to sign up to look further, because they had in their head, oh man, this is going to be super expensive. I can't afford it. And so they were holding themselves back mentally by coming up with some erroneous number in the first place. And then we started talking, and I told them the price. They're like, oh yeah, I can do that. And it's like, so, and I mean, it was on the page. They could have looked at it and seen, but so it's good to put it out there, because some people, it's shortcuts that conversation. And to lower those expectations in a good way.
Yeah, we have a website, going to business. We have a website through our fence company called myfreefencequote.com. We didn't create the page. We created the URL, and people can go on and draw out their fence and get an instant price. That doubled our business.
Oof,
I mean, from the time we were not using it to the time we started using it, it literally doubled our business.
Oh my gosh.
But it also cut my time in half, because we didn't have to go out to every single job to give somebody a price for them to tell us, oh, that's too expensive, or so you eliminate a lot of the tire kickers. And that's kind of the philosophy that I'm taking with it, is that if I give a price up front, people know. And I feel like when people know and they're not pressured, they're more comfortable making the decision, because I think people are just naturally resistant, and for whatever reason, like, sometimes you tell people to go and they just want to stop, and there's no rhyme or reason. They just want to be in control of themselves.
Right.
So if you give them the opportunity to kind of let them make the decision, I mean, and so far it's working. I mean, we just sold 3 sponsors going to Phoenix in the last, I'd say, 16 hours. So now we're on the opposite side of it. We're trying to struggle to hurry and get decals made to get them on the car
Good problem.
before we leave. But yeah, I mean, we're going to make it happen. And that's something we'll just have to learn as we go through this, that there's probably going to be people that are going to go on last minute. So, just have to have our decal guy on standby.
There you go. Yeah, that's awesome. And say that name again for the fence quote.
It's myfreefencequote.com.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. And I'll definitely share those details too. And so that's a perfect transition real quick to the business world. This is your business, right? What was the name of the company?
Top Choice Fence.
Top Choice Fence. What made you decide to go into business for yourself and start a fencing company?
I was broke and I knew how to build fences. I mean, that's the short end of the story. Yeah, I was racing and had a bad wreck and spent all my money and decided that that was not the smart adult thing to do. And put an ad up on Craigslist back in the day, looking, just put some pictures of the fences that I built for myself personally.
Yeah.
And had a doctor that took a chance and let me build his fence at his house, and then that turned into a neighbor let me build a fence, and then it just, I think it kind of snowballed from there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Just doing a great job for one client at a time. Builds a great business that way. So, no, what's your service area?
We service pretty much all the central Indiana area. Residential stuff, we try to stay within 45 minutes to an hour of Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial stuff, we'll travel, basically as far as we need to. Just depends on the profits there.
Right. Gotcha. Cool. Well, I'll wrap things up. Greg, thanks so much for taking this call with me, and I'll be happy to share this. Last thing I want to ask you. Oh, actually, how long have you been in business?
16 years.
16 years? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So do you have like any specific like key to success, whether that's like internal in your business, external with your customers? Like, what would that be?
Well, everything takes time, right? And this is probably more for younger people because I was young when I started my business, but something that people need to understand is what you do in your 20s affect your 30s. What you do in your 30s affect your 40s, and so on. And I think a lot of people think that success, because they'll see people with success and they think it happens overnight. But man, I can tell you the decisions I made when I was 25 years old and started my business is what got me to being, successful in my mid 30s. Right. And the decisions I made when I was 35 are now what's, allowing me to have the success that I'm having now. So, you just have to understand that success takes time. And, you can rush it, you can push it, but at the same time, you have to understand everything takes time.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in this day and age, people try and find as many shortcuts as they can, right? Whether it's shortcutting internally with their business or externally with their customers, and eventually that either comes caving in or it's just a real bumpy ride through the whole thing. And there's better ways to do that. So that's great advice. Thank you so much, Greg. I really appreciate you taking the time, man, to jump on this call. A lot of valuable insight that I look forward to sharing with everyone else out there. Aside from that, is there anything else you want to share or announce while you're on?
No, I don't think so.
Team35.com, right?
Yep. Sponsor team35.com.
Okay, perfect. And I'll put all that stuff in there and shoot us out there and tag you in it too. Once I get out there, I'm actually going out of town racing too at VIR, so I'll be when I got some downtime in between, we'll cut this up and put it out there. So you should be seeing it the next couple of days. Probably you might be on the road at that point. So
all righty.
Thank you so much, man. Drive safely to you and your team, and good luck. We'll be watching.
All righty. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care.